Okay, kids, here we go. Open up Photopea. I'm using the downloaded version right now. I'm going to open up a file. I put one on the desktop here. Picture of a rock. Okay. Don't forget, every time you open a photo, that to level it if necessary, but start practicing taking your photos level so you can skip this step and maximize your editing possibilities. Because when you have to rotate it, you lose some edges, right? So it starts in the transform mode. That's what these pins are for. I'm cool with how it is right now, so I'm just going to leave it. Hit return. Okay, and now here is the first step to making black and white. Now, there's a lot of approaches. You can do this a lot of different ways. I'm just showing one right now. So naturally, we might want to go to black and white first. So you do an adjustment filter, black and white. Click. Okay, now I've done that. And this picture is already kind of a lot of gray in it, right? So my job here, let me hide this for a moment, is to try to move it from this. Does anyone remember in yesterday's notes, if you started the black and white notes, what's it called when there's kind of just mostly grays and not a lot of dark black and not a lot of light? Remember that? Pop into the mic. Okay, it's called flat. This is a very flat picture, flat. All right, so we want to get darker, dark, like the shadows down here, I might try to get darker, and light areas lighter, but still maximize the detail of these fossils inside the rock, okay? So I can double click here or click here to get these controllers, and what I'm doing is moving anything that's slightly red in there, lighter red or darker red. So see how I'm starting to change some tone that way first. And this will be really subtle, but now I'm getting more contrast by bringing my yellows down to the yellow. Okay, so if we turn this off for a moment, you can see there's some yellow, there's some color inside these rocks. What I'm doing when I turn it black and white is making those colors darker or lighter. Okay, it's pretty clever, huh? It's like we get to fine tune each color. So I'm just trying each one without necessarily knowing where those colors are in the photo, if any. Okay, let's see if blue changes much. Look at the sand changes, interestingly. Here we go, I want to get that darker. And any purples, magenta, which is like the color of my photo view. So not a lot of change, right? So sliding around is one way to improve the tonal range, the range of dark and light in the photo. There's yet another way. Remember that, here, let's do this, turn that off for a moment. So I keep my adjustments, they're in there in that layer. I just turned off the visibility for a moment. I'm gonna add instead a levels adjustment. Levels and curves do a lot of the same type of things, but from different angles, all right? So with this, look at this. This is my histogram. This is the distribution of dark pixels, medium, lots of highlight pixels, and then whites over here. I could turn this, make my whites brighter by moving this down, and I'm blowing it out when I do that. I make it too bright and I'm losing detail. So I'm gonna move it in just a touch and see how that looks. So I would guess that this makes my dark areas darker by moving that in. All right, I like it. And then this tones down the whites, makes them grayer. I don't want that. I want them stretched as far as I can. And same with blacks. This would dull them down, kind of whiten them up. I don't want that. I want them dark as possible. Okay? So the next thing to see is, okay, I've added one ingredient. I've added another ingredient. Let's see how it tastes. All right? Bam. Turn them on. Oh, I like it more better. Now, the main feature to me is these little lines of fossilized shells inside the rock are getting more exciting. Look at from beginning, right, to the end. I'm dramatizing it. Using black and white is one way to dramatize it, okay? But the next thing I want to figure out, but I don't know how to do it on Photopea yet, so I'm going to learn. Maybe one of you guys get ahead with me is, how would you do vignetting? Vignetting is when you make like kind of a slight blackish fuzzy edge there, or white actually. And there's probably a tool here. I just have to learn how to do it in this software. I haven't done it before. That might be a nice way to make it look more vintage or a little extra black and white added touch. All right. When the edges of your photo are slightly darkened and kind of fade to dark, that's called vignetting. Look it up. All right.